Hello everybody, this is Baron24 coming to you today with a configuration video on the killstreaks that are now going to be part of Paintball or Ultimate Paintball, which is available on Spigot. So killstreaks are found currently at the bottom of the configuration file. How the section is below the kit configuration. So you get your kits right there, which were originally at the bottom before 1.5, and now the killstreaks have been placed there. So there may be other values around that. However, currently this is where the killstreaks reside. So I'm just going to go through this. So this is the value just to enable or disable killstreaks. I'm pretty sure that's fairly self-explanatory there. The second value, kills required. This is the amount of kills that's required to broadcast a message to all the players at the end of a streak, basically when a player is killed. So if they have this amount of kills or greater, then this message will be played. Take careful note of these replacements. See player, and streak. Those are the values that can be used in any string or message in this configuration file. So you simply put those inside the message, either here or in messages that are actually in these tasks. And then those messages will, and then those strings inside this superstring are going to be replaced. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So this is just that message that's going to be broadcasted. Here are the streaks. Currently, I've got 5 set up at 3, 5, 7, 10, and 15. If you want to add more, you would simply tack on, like let's see, if you want to do a 20, you would simply do a 20, and then you need to do the title of the section. So like currently there's a low, there's a medium, and a high. You can change that in the future, of course, by just simply adding more. So if I wanted to do a different one, then I could actually just copy this section and then just go ahead and add that in afterwards. So here, I'm just going to do this just for an example. So let's just say I wanted to copy all of this. And then if I just tap that in again, you can see now that I've got 2 highs. So let's just say that because I was just using this for 20, I would just type in 20 there. So now this section would handle the 20 kill streak, but in order to make sure that that happens, I would have to also type in that 20 right up there. So you've got the 20, and then that would be in line with this section. So currently, of course, I'm not going to use that. So I believe that was, and I believe that was yeah. So but I'm not. But of course, so that's how you would add that sort of thing. So, or you can also remove these. If you don't want a 15 kill streak, then you would simply remove that. So that's how that works. So hopefully that makes sense to you. You're just basically mapping the kill streak with the title of the configuration section there. Alright, so moving on. In each section there needs to be at least a general section. You can add a kit section, which is going to add per kit choices, which I will go through in a bit. However, in the general section, there's a use value, which I'll explain in just a bit. And then you've got your tasks. Your tasks are the strings, which is basically a string list, which is going to be just the different things that you are going to do on a kill streak. So in this case, in the general, I'm giving the player 16 paintballs. I'm sending them a message, you're on a 3 kill streak, and then I'm giving them a sound, which is just the level up sound. So if you have played Minecraft enough, you'll know what that sounds like when you change levels in survival. So as far as sounds go, you're just going to have to know what these sound IDs are. Go ahead and Google that first, but then if you're still having trouble, go ahead and message me and I'll try and help you out. I'll give you a link to hopefully some sort of resource. I don't know if one exists, but that's just unfortunately what you're going to have to do there. So, and then your other 2 values are your volume and your pitch. Note that volume and pitch only go between values of 0 and 2. Obviously, you'd want a volume of greater than 0, but But so basically, adding or changing these to gigantic values is not going to do anything. So just keep that in mind. And then while we're on the topic of these different strings, let's just go ahead and go through them. So we've got a message, which will send a message to a set of users, which can be either the player who's on the kill streak, the team, the team the player is on, the enemy, which is the other team that the player isn't on, if one exists, of course, in the future. If there is a like, let's say if there's a free-for-all game mode, then the team or the enemy is just going to broadcast it to all the players. So, and then of course all, which would broadcast it to all the players. So, so the message, this of course accepts any number of arguments. It doesn't have to be, just 3 arguments, because that wouldn't make sense, because of course messages are combined, of course, of multiple arguments. So Paintball does handle that correctly, so feel free to make your messages as long as you want. Sound, again, I already went through that. You got your volume and pitch there, but they do have to be 5 arguments long. Tokens, those are respawn tokens. Your users are given a piece of redstone in their inventory when they die, and they're in a respawn box, and they can then click on the respawn token to get back into the game. You can of course disable those, or just simply not give them the respawn tokens. Either one will net you the same value if you don't like that feature. Paintball simply gives them paintballs. Of course, 3 arguments there, same as with the tokens. Your speed will give them a speed potion for a certain length of time. So that's to somebody. Then that's the time in seconds, and the power, where 1 is with no power, and then if you need if you need speed 1, you would put in power of 1. If you need speed 2, you put in a power of 2, etc. Health, that sets a player to full health again. Disorient, it gives that dizzy potion. That's this, along with the blindness and the slowness, were the reason why I put the enemy in here. Well, because I figured you could toy with the enemy if you got on kill streaks, if that's something that you want your players to be able to do. So, the blindness, of course, is the blindness effect, and slowness is the slowness effect. Kit is per kit, is a per kit upgrade if one exists. So that's what we're going to go with now. So in your kit, for example, if you've got the Grenadier, but do note that the kit only works for the player. You can't add a per kit update per player. So you'll notice that there's no 2 in this one. That's because it automatically is assigned just to the player. So you can't do anything else, unfortunately, at least right now. So how kits work is basically how to explain this use value is first what Paintball is going to do is it's going to look through here, and it's going to see if there's any sort of task that needs to be ran for the player. Now if one doesn't exist, like let's say the sniper, because you can remove these different sections, so let's just say the sniper just doesn't exist. Alright, so now what's going to happen is if sniper doesn't exist and this is set to false, then the only tasks that are going to be run are going to be in the general tasks. However, let's say because of the fact that one did not exist here. However, now let's say that the player is using the Grenadier kit and this is set to false. Well, now something was ran here, and these tasks up here are no longer going to be run. So that's something to keep in mind. So that way, if you only want certain tasks to run, then you're going to have to put those here. Obviously, for messages and sounds, if you want messages and sounds to be played regardless, then you would just simply add those to the kit. You would just simply add those to the kit sections instead. So that way, even if or you'd have to add those separately, so that way even if this general section wasn't ran, they would still get those messages and sounds. So that's just a way to get around that. So, and then lastly, and then that basically sums it up. This kit section is just per kit basically of what the player is using. You can see Dasher doesn't have any specific boosts. Grenadier just adds grenades to the player's inventory. Sprayer will remove the cooldown, as will Sniper. Bomber will add bombs to the player's inventory. Demo, there's nothing specific. Rocket Man adds rockets. Blaster, there's nothing because they only use paintballs. Same with Gunner and Reloader. Healer, there's nothing specific because you can just heal the player. Even though in the future I should actually change that because so you can actually count on that being in 1.5, as I haven't quite released it yet. So Healer will have a kit-based choice, as they can get healing rods. So ignore that. That will be in version 1.5. Heavy, of course, just paintballs. You can add those in with the paintball string instead. Blocker will add blocking rods. Blinder will add blinding charges. Charger, of course, nothing because you can just add speed. In this case, what I did is specifically to the team. However, you could do that differently. And then Juggernaut is going to charge that Juggernaut protection all the way up to full power. So that is basically everything that I think you would need to know about this. If you're still confused about something in this configuration section, just go ahead and let me know, and I will answer any questions. So you can message me on Spigot. Don't put a comment here on this YouTube channel. This is not my default YouTube channel, so I don't check you often except to, of course, upload videos. So just keep that in mind too. So. But anyway, I'm hoping that you find this useful and that you have an interest in my plugin. So thanks for watching.